وقل رب زدني علما.
And here, I say gentleman loosely, but
Maybe he was Jesus. I don't know if he was.
no, maybe.
Would you say that? Would you say this makes sense to say that? Because people say that. Why do you keep singing? Sing it.
So are you filming?
Yes.
People say
Okay.
that. No. You can still talk.
You're on your own.
Just don't be on camera.
No, just film him.
Yeah.
Just film him, not me.
Oh, there's no point in saying it.
No.
You can look at it in a way as like he just showed you an example how to live, and that about how to have a pure heart.
That's fine. I accept he showed
And
you how
that,
to live.
and that basically he was ready. He was ready as someone that didn't sin anything, and that was why he was ready to get to the point where he was at. And that basically he nailed sin to the cross in terms of he showed people how to defeat it.
No,
Does that make sense?
no, it doesn't. Because you said he actually took the sin away. He didn't just show you. You
I
saying
never
he.
said it took away.
Okay, so when he died on the cross, what did he do?
I'm saying that he showed us how to defeat it.
But when he died on the cross, did he take away the sins of the world?
Well, clearly not.
But that's not what he said earlier on, Chris. You know that you have that ability to put two clips together?
No, but I didn't mean it. But you didn't let me explain it. That's why I was going to get to.
You said that he died to take your sins away. And I asked you,
Yeah,
you're
but
still sinning.
You can still take the sins away in terms of showing people. He took the sins away in terms of showing people how to destroy sin.
Okay, so if he took the sins away, why did he teach you to ask for forgiveness? How are you?
Right, yeah. That's what I'm saying. He didn't actually go and take it. Still, sin exists.
Okay, so if he died for your sins,
But you're not hearing what I'm saying. I said that he died to show us how to destroy sin.
so if I have to follow his example to destroy the sin, if I want to destroy
To live the
sin,
way he lived.
hold on a second. The fact that he died for you must mean something. He must be setting an example for you, right? So he wouldn't have done it otherwise, according to you.
That's why he said. That's why he said there is no better. There's no better man, or there's nothing better than dying for your friends.
Okay, so he died for your sins. So how do I emulate that? How do I follow that?
You basically have to live life to basically sacrifice your own life. In terms of to sacrifice your own life for God's will, whether that means by sacrificing what you want to do in order to help someone.
So for him,
or to sacrifice yourself to fight your own a spiritual battle within you.
so
Something different.
so for him to show me that I have to fight myself spiritually, he had to die physically.
Yeah, they didn't know about that before.
Listen to my question. So for Jesus to show me I have to fight myself spiritually,
Yeah, the way
he physically died for it.
Yes.
So he couldn't say it, but he physically died for it.
To show you,
Yeah.
to show you how once and for all that what you need to go to basically show how dedicated you are to sacrifice.
So for me to emulate him, I have to kill myself.
Not to kill yourself.
So what do I have to do? How is that matching?
Carlos, can you come here a sec, please? No, it's going to be off camera. It's off camera.
Just stand there. I won't film you.
So basically, how would you explain that? He's asking me about if Jesus died for his sins, why is there still sin in the world? And I'm explaining about he showed us as an example how to lead, and basically he did it. He didn't specifically die for the sins,
Right.
but he died to basically show you how to defeat sin, to overcome sin.
Personally, that idea that he died for your sins and you believe in him and all your sins are gone, I don't find that very appealing. But I do find that he's dying on the cross and forgiving his tormentors. That example of total love, that he has opened the doors to heaven to people because he said that's true love, and I'm showing you.
So you can
how to
defeat sin
love.
through proper
So
love.
you don't believe?
But you have to atone yourself. You can't just say I believe in Jesus and it's all gone.
But you'd have to
you
have the
have to
spirit
believe
in you.
because Yeah, no, because the gospel, those things came later on. Or, you believe in Jesus.
I'm
But in the
confused
gospel,
now.
Jesus is always saying,
Ahmed Didat said, rahimahullah, every
practice
Christian is unique.
my teaching.
Christian is unique
says what?
in their belief.
He says what?
We have
He's
example.
always saying, follow my commands, live my command.
Yeah, love one another as like how much you like
this
it says,
is
yeah.
my command, you got to live it.
So you don't believe he came to die?
I don't think, I think it's most important his message
Okay, yeah, we agree there.
rather than his name.
Yeah.
Would you say that the death kind of like nailed his level of love to everybody? Would you say his death nailed the level of love that he had for everybody?
Pun intended.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. Could be. And if you see in the Gnostic Gospels, they never talk about the crucifixion.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
But it's very much what he
Even in the
taught.
Gospel of Thomas doesn't talk about it.
No. He just
Epistle
said
of James, which
he
spoke
was
by us, Mike.
crucified because he criticized the system. That's what they say. But it's all about what he's teaching.
So how would you sacrifice yourself the way Jesus did without obviously sacrificing your life, as in killing yourself?
Is by following his command. That's all what he always says.
So what was his commands then?
Love one another as I've loved you.
Okay.
And no higher love exists than if a friend that gives you his life without asking anything in return.
Okay.
Because through all the gospel he keeps saying, follow my command. And then in John there is this thing that the disciples said, come on, tell us, what's your command?
But is it possible to believe that, Jesus, what you said, because of which, when you see his message, is it possible to believe that rather than him being a true God, that him as a person, as a unique person, would do all these loving things, but then, without actually dying on the, because obviously I'm a Muslim and I believe that he didn't die on the cross. I believe that he done everything, like when he was born, he apart from the virgin birth, he done all the miracles on behalf of what God said, and that love, he said, was instilled from him, from God, like a gift, passed on to God, onto him to do God's work through, like used as a tool, as you were. So God would use him as a tool rather than God himself coming down and then hit,
Yeah, but he's asking like why. He's asking you why was the cross necessary?
No, he's saying without being God, could he still have given that beautiful example and said those teachings? And I say yes, of course. Because in the gospel to say I and the Father are one doesn't mean that I am God.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
It just
Because we can
means,
say it as well.
It means we are attuned. I'm completely attuned.
Yes.
To God.
I agree with you.
A messenger of God has to be in tune with God. He has to be one with God.
Yeah. Not to say.
No, but would you say that the other prophets weren't really at that level? Because they stumbled quite a lot. The prophets before him stumbled quite a lot.
In what sense? Give us an example.
Suffered quite a lot.
Stumbled quite a lot. So, for example, like Moses, when he disobeyed God, when he didn't make it to the promised land because of the fact that he got angry.
Was he him or his people?
No, it was him. It was the story in the Bible where
when he hit
instead of
the
hit the stone once, he hit it twice.
But didn't his people disobey God and cause a lot of hardship for Moses?
Oh yeah, but I'm saying that he didn't get there because he didn't have that faith in God. Because God told him to hit it once, and he hit it twice.
But then would you?
That's the Bible.
But then would you, as a, from your perspective,
I'm a humanist.
Humanist. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Humanist.
A spiritual
humanist. Yeah. Would you believe that if God chose all the prophets, then it would make more sense to you that like a chain of narration, that all of them would do exactly the same thing after one another? So, like, for example, generation after generation, they would do one thing, just to preach to the people, but even though they would be human, if they made a mistake, it was because they were human, rather than a sin, on their shoulder. you know, like for example, when like we said, the example in the Bible, when you said from the Bible, when Moses struck it twice rather than once, and it was,
that's the story. I don't say I
yeah,
believe
no,
in it.
I understand.
Yes.
I understand. That's the biblical interpretation. But then, you know, like for example, if I give you an example of the same story, but from two sources, what would make more sense to you? Basically, you have one source, and this is about, you know, when Moses sees the oppression. You know, you've seen the Prince of Egypt. You know, when he sees the oppression,
The same story is in Quran. Quran says, Allah says to Moses, hit the stone with your stick.
Pushes the person,
Just hits it once.
and the man
And
falls
12
to death, and Moses swears, "Oh my God, what have I
water.
done?" And he leaves Egypt and he starts to go.
What's it
and
called?
that's where it becomes
Water
a problem.
gushes out from 12
But before
different
all of
places.
that,
That's the
yeah,
12
that's what
tribes
I'm
of
saying.
Israel.
Now,
Obviously.
from the Bible,
But
Metaphoric.
the first time it didn't work.
Based
the first
on
time
what
he
this-
didn't.
what
he
the
The
didn't-
Quran doesn't say that. فاضرب
you know,
بعصاك
from the
الحجر
Bible
فانفجر
says
من
that
12 عينا.
Yeah, but then why didn't he get to the promised land?
to his right.
Because of the people. It's a punishment to the people, not Moses.
But that's punishing
And
him
then
though.
he,
No, it's not. He's a
praised
prophet of God. He's on
the
salvation.
person towards their death.
He's saved anyway. He's a prophet of God.
He didn't mean
All he can do, give
He
message.
didn't mean to.
How many times the Jews disobeyed their prophets? How many times? So is that the fault of the prophets? Deficiency in the prophets? No, it's in them. They disobey, they
But
challenge.
that doesn't mean that you're not going to get to the promised land because of what the Israelites.
Right. So because of Moses, regardless of what they did, they should be in promised land.
No, Moses should have been in the promised land.
No, but he can't leave his people. He was sent. He's a messenger to them.
He saw
Oh
something
yeah.
Yeah.
he didn't like it, and he said, "Please stop." And
But that's they're saying that he didn't get to the promised land because of, well, obviously because they didn't have the faith, but because obviously like what Moses
He
did.
can't just leave them.
Humanist
yeah.
No,
perspective.
he's sent to them. He has to answer God. Why did you leave them?
Difficult for me to tell
I sent you to them.
I don't
Same as
believe
Jonah.
we have a-
He
That's
left.
why Jesus says, like, you know,
that
when
kind
you
of,
have your flock
the
or your sheep,
agnostic,
and one goes missing,
Jesus was up.
You have to find
leave
them
the rest of the flock, and you have to go
he
find that
actually
one.
came
because you're
to
responsible for it.
Yeah.
Basically, what it means, God will hold you
You
accountable.
follow the tradition.
Did you deliver my message to everybody that I sent it to? Yeah.
While I gave
See,
you
in the Quran, we have a
Moses
verse
did not give you the bread
that
of
says,
life.
I'll tell you the Arabic, I'll tell you. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. And we have made you the middle of all nation. It can also be translated as not extreme, in the middle. Right? So the verse continues and says that so that you might be witnesses to other people and the Prophet is witness on you. So what does this mean? One meaning of this, Day of Judgment. On the Day of Judgment, Allah will call, say, Moses. He will say to Moses, did you deliver my message to your people? This is not because Allah doesn't know or Moses didn't do whatever. This is for the people there listening. It's for their benefit. God knows, Moses knows as well that he delivered. So he will say, did you deliver my message? He'll say, yes, I did. And the people, he will ask them, did he deliver the message to you? They will say no. Right? They will deny it. The ones obviously went astray. It's in their benefit to say, no, he never told us. So who?
When they know that, they know they're lying.
No, this verse that says that so that you, the people of Muhammad, are witnesses, the nation of Muhammad, that are witnesses over them. This is where we come in.
When do the Christians come in?
Allah will come to us and say, did Moses deliver to his people? We'll say, yes, he did. How do you know? Muhammad told us through the Quran.
We believe that Jesus.
That's how we are witnesses.
What about Christians?
We believe he didn't.
That's what I'm saying to you. And that he will ask us, no, not Christians. Inna dina inda Allah al-Islam. Verily the way of life in the sight of Allah, acceptable to Allah, is Islam. What Muhammad brought. Right? And obviously those who follow their messengers in the right path. If you are a true follower of Abraham, true follower of Jonah, true follower of Moses, true follower of Moses, all this, then you're also saved. Because those messengers were sent by God to guide you.
I would say that.
But the only difference is, as Jesus said, he was only sent to the Jews.
When Prophet Muhammad
And see, how logical is this, that God comes on earth and is sent to one geographical location?
No, at that time he was.
every time when the Sahabat said we need
Yeah.
to fight back,
But
it's like no,
his overall mission
it's only by command of God.
How was it for everybody? When Jesus says that I've only been sent to the lost sheep of house of Israel, not even to the whole of Israel, just the lost sheep.
all of them are lost.
tendency.
They weren't all lost sheep. How were they?
They are.
The ones who were following, were they lost?
Every human's lost.
Where they think,
The ones who were following Jesus, were they lost?
I mean,
Were the disciples lost?
Up until his last minute, yeah. Because they didn't really get it until the last minute.
Right, but if
where it's called the
the
Medina,
disciples,
and the other one.
were they following Jesus' teaching?
Yeah.
Right, were they lost?
Even if either one.
How can they be lost if
They
they
were still confused about a lot what he was saying.
if I take a disciple and the rest of the Jew, which one is lost?
Yeah.
Like the Mecca one says to you your religion.
The one who's not a disciple. If at that time I took let's say Peter, I took Peter and I took one of the Pharisees. Which one was lost?
Pharisee.
Right, because Peter was following Jesus. So those who followed the messengers correctly, their own messengers, the one sent to them, they're not lost, they're saved. And the Quran says that as well. The Quran in one of the verses says, verily those who believe in Allah and the messenger and the last day from the Christians and the Jews and the Sabi'in and all this Sabians. So it means those who followed the messengers who sent to them with the message, they're the ones saved. Allah, they will have their reward with Allah. The reward is, it's not punishment, is it? Reward.
Because many
So that means if those who followed Moses,
The problem is,
Yeah.
if they, this is the thing, like, you know what the
I
problem
know,
is? Like,
I know.
for example, let's just say with Muhammad it's like Jesus. If the Christians say, well, we're following Jesus' message, if we're following Jesus' message, and Jesus' message is to get to God,
yes,
then there should be no problem with us following Jesus and not Muhammad.
no. Right. If we take what the Quran says, this is what I'm saying, that you need to be reasonable here. You're going halfway and then you're turning away.
Yeah.
Do you accept that Jesus was sent to the Jews?
Yeah,
Do you accept he was born of a virgin?
yeah,
Do you accept he did miracles through God's permission?
yeah,
Do you accept that he'll come back again?
yeah.
So this is a commonality between us. We're on common terms here. The Quran confirms this. Why would an Arab man in the middle of desert, Muhammad, confirm these things and raise the status of Jesus and his mother? Why?
But I don't think it really does. He does really. Right?
He does. She's the most righteous woman, Mary. And Jesus is one of the closest to God. Right? Imagine, I go to Palestine now. I go to Palestine.
Should be the closest to God. There's no
Listen,
fire.
I give you. If I go to Palestine and start praising, if I go to Palestine and praise a Jew and Jewess, what would happen to me?
Started praising.
If I go in the middle of Palestine now and praise Jewish people, what would happen to me? Do you think?
Why would you praise Jewish people?
Let's say I've gone in the
Oh, you
middle,
probably
get killed.
Yeah. Not that we'd right. But
Yeah. Why would Muhammad in the middle of the Arabs praise Jesus and Mary? Is it because he wants to do it, or because he was told to do it?
They were already following.
No,
What, you mean the pagans?
the pagans, yeah, in
The
Mecca.
pagans didn't care.
No, but if he went in the middle of them and praised them from nowhere, why would he do that?
I don't. When did he praise Jesus in the middle of the pagans?
Quran says that he was pious, he was pure, he was dutiful to his mother,
Oh right, yeah.
right? And the Quran says Mary was one of the most righteous women on earth. She's the only one mentioned by name. Why does he have to do it?
Of Sharia.
See, these are questions that you need to ask. What made him do that?
Probably to attract the Christians.
Did he attract the Christians?
Maybe some of them did. Yeah.
No, did he attract the Christian by saying that Jesus is only a prophet?
I mean, I would address
No.
Right. So it wasn't to attract Christians, is it? Why would?
Some of them.
Right. Because they saw the truth in it. If he was to attract Christians, would he have not confirmed that Jesus is God? He would have. He would have confirmed Christian teachings, but he stood against them. He confirmed all the miracles Jesus did and all that, they were from God's permission. And your own book, Acts chapter 2 verse 22 says that.
Yeah, I do it by the finger of God. By the
Acts,
Spirit of God.
no, Acts 2:22. Peter, who was closer to Jesus? You and I, or Peter?
Peter.
Right. Now maybe we should listen to what he says then. Peter says in Acts 2:22, "Hear, O Israel," just Israel, because that's where he was sent to. "Hear, O Israel, Jesus of Nazareth, a man approved by God through miracles, wonders and signs, which God did through him amongst you, as you all
Yeah, I
know. So who did the miracles?
God, I know.
God, through him.
I don't dispute that.
So this is what I'm saying to you, that when the Quran...
Some Christians, they make a mistake. They're so saying about when he did the miracles by raising the dead and everything. It's like,
Yeah.
well, God did it.
You got it there.
Yeah.
Even if you have a look at Lazarus, when he raised Lazarus, have a look at that chapter and read it from a point of view of somebody who's seeking to know what's happened, not from a Christian theology point of view, right? That's John chapter 11. When he goes to Lazarus, he's dead. He finds out he's died. Jesus actually went to Galilee, I think Galilee or Judea, one of the two.
Yeah.
So he went there, he found out that Lazarus died, he comes back. Lazarus had two sisters, Martha and Mary. Mary was a common name. So Martha comes out to him first. Oh Master, if you were here, this wouldn't have happened to my brother. So now they approach the house where Lazarus is dead, has been dead for 2-3 days. Jesus, if you want to win a pub quiz, the shortest verse in the Bible, do you know what the verse is? The verse is? The shortest verse in the Bible is in here. John chapter 11, verse 35. It says, Jesus wept.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when he came close to where, because he heard people crying and all this, he wept. And he comes close to the house, and it says he groaned in spirit, he mumbling to himself audibly. Then he came closer, and then he raised his head, and he says, "Oh my Father, I thank you for listening, and I know you always listen to me.
Yeah.
But for this incredulous crowd, I say it loudly so they may know you've sent me."
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I know all them verses.
So, in nowhere any of the miracles he claims he did it by himself.
I know.
So what makes him God then?
I never said anything about that.
So what makes him God?
Because he found out that he was one with God, and that is part of his nature.
Right.
It's like our nature as well.
So where did he find
No, we're
himself?
part of God as well.
Yeah, we're sent. Yeah. Okay. I'll take it to my meaning.
We are like Jesus was, but we didn't
Yeah.
know it.
No, in what sense you were like Jesus? Tell me. How are we like Jesus?
Because we have a divine nature that we don't know about, that we haven't activated.
What divine nature?
We have, this nature we have now, our human nature, and we have divine nature. We need to submit to the divine nature in order for it to work.
So what you're telling me doesn't make sense, because divine nature have divine attributes. We are humans with human attributes.
Yeah, we have a divine nature as well.
Yeah. So are we mortal and immortal at the same time?
Yes.
In what sense? Tell me.
Because we're made in the image of God, which means we do have attributes to God.
In what attributes? Give me an example of attribute that we share with God.
I can't really say knowledge. That's not been really saying anything. How would you say that what makes us like divine? Because I said that we have a divine nature as well as a human nature, but we haven't recognized our own divine nature yet, like Jesus did.
So give me
How would you say that?
Yeah.
Oh, you've gone.
It doesn't want to be recorded, that gentleman there. That's fine. He's not recording it.
Why are you paranoid?
No, it's not paranoia. It's his choice. Isn't it?
Use this way. Don't worry. So yeah. That's why we made in his image, and we have a divine side to us, but we don't know about it because we're not living a pure life, humble life. Once we live that life and we submit to that the divine will.
Give me a nature we share with God.
Then we act.
Give me a divine nature we share with God then.
Well, we have the ability to have the knowledge of God, the wisdom.
We have the ability to know. So when's the day of judgment then?
We can develop that.
So when is the day of judgment?
I don't know. I said that. No. Listen to what I said. I said we have the ability to do that.
So how do
we need to learn that? We need to find that out.
God is all-knowing. There's no a single knowledge that He doesn't know about. There is nothing unknown to God. So in what way are we like Him in that? Can we achieve that?
Yeah, we can achieve godliness. Yeah, and
Godliness is different thing.
and we can achieve the same essence as God.
Right. So you're moving to too many different places now.
You understand what I'm saying, right?
Godliness is
How would I explain it better in a better way?
right.
Can you explain it better? Could you about what I'm saying about the whole us being with the whole God thing and everything, and having a divine nature.
What he's saying is that we can achieve the attributes of God. So I want to
We
know.
can be attuned to the nature of
That's
God,
different.
as Jesus said.
That's different. It's from what he's saying. He's saying, for example, as an example, God is all-knowing. He's saying we can achieve that.
No, I don't think.
Right. So this is
I
my.
don't think you meant that.
Yeah.
That we can be on.
That's what he said.
Well, no. Let's just say, for example, you've achieved that you've achieved what you've come to achieve, and you become divine, and then you go into another life. Well, you go back to God, and you get all that wisdom and knowledge.
Once you have died, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, but then we're going a bit far.
Yeah, that's what I'm on
I think you
about.
were talking more
No,
That's what I'm talking about now. Yeah.
about.
in this life, no. In this life, no.
Okay, fair enough.
No. In the next life, we can.
In the next life, we'll have the attributes of God.
In the next life, we'll have all the.
Where do you
knowledge
get this
and wisdom
information from?
Huh?
Where do you get this idea from?
No, probably what he's saying in the next life, we'll know everything
About
how
God.
the universe came about and why. And
Right. No, he's not saying that. He's saying we'll have the attributes of God. That's what he's saying.
Why wouldn't we have the attributes of God in the next life?
Well, because
Where do you get this information from? That we will have the attributes of God. Where do you get this idea from?
Well, for example, Jesus got it. It says all power was given to him.
Right.
Once
Which power
and it
is
says
that?
it says it in the Bible. It says in the Bible that we will receive them powers once we go back to God.
yeah, but what would be the purpose
Yeah.
to have them powers when he already
I
died?
think
for
he was
us?
talking of healing and certain things that the disciples had with the Spirit descended,
Yeah.
but not so much the omni.
The attributes of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know if we're going to be in the spirit. You don't know.
But how do you get from power? You get the attributes of God.
Sorry.
When you say that we will have this power, Jesus says in Matthew 28:19, all power has been given to me. How do you know this power he's talking about are the attributes of God? Or is the attribute of God?
How do you know?
Yeah. Where does it tell you that?
Well, it's hard to explain that.
Did you read this? Some of this?
It's hard to explain. Oh yeah, because God gives life, doesn't He?
Right. So what my point is, how do you conclude from this statement that these are the attributes of God he's going to get?
Well, we don't know.
Right. So that's my point. So you cannot assume that you'll get the attributes of God, become all-knowing, all-merciful, and all this attributes of God from this statement. You cannot, for example, can you make somebody a god?
You know, I'm saying the accent.
Can I make somebody a God?
Yeah. Can God make somebody a god?
Yeah.
The moment he's made a god, he has a beginning, doesn't he?
The same base as the brother that talking.
Do you follow the logic? The moment God makes somebody a god, that God has a beginning.
No. Once God makes another God, that God then has no time.
Right. The moment, look, listen to what I'm saying. The moment he's made a god, he has a beginning.
I know.
So you cannot have the attribute of God. God doesn't have a beginning. This entity became God. That means he had a beginning. So you cannot have the attributes of God. You fall at the first hurdle.